This is again your common sense coach, Coach Tony Agudo. Okay, so for this video, we're gonna be talking about something serious. So you can see it there. It's oxidative stress on cancer. So this is a topic that most people don't really talk about until it happens to them or their family. So one thing I'll ask you is, do you have cancer or have you had cancer? Do you know someone close to you who may have cancer? Okay. Have you ever thought about your own cancer risk? Is it high or is it low? Do you have vices? Are you exposed to certain conditions that may be, increasing your risks of cancer? Like cigarette smoke, pollution. Is your diet, not good, full of processed? So anyway, for those who have had experience with cancer, we know it's a very hard disease to deal with. It's often expensive and there's a lot of pain and suffering. Not only for the patient, but for the whole family, and everybody that cares about the individual. So everybody suffers. So it's a big thing about it is the expenses also, especially if you don't have insurance. So it's a very big, especially in our country in the Philippines. It's that it's a very expensive. It's a hard disease for the poor to deal with financially. So, but the thing is, in all of my years, I've been very complacent. I've been very negligent of my health until I reached my mid-40s. When I was made aware of these things about taking proper care of your body. Because more often than not, we spend more money on our cars, on our motorbikes, on our computers, online and whatnot. But we scrimp. We cut corners, or we don't spend much. We don't like spending much on our own bodies. That's really weird now that I think about it. I was in that space before, but if you really think about it, your body is the only thing you're in, for the rest of your life. So why don't we take better care of it? Why are we so negligent about taking care of our bodies? And cancer, it's the reason why we're taking it up now, because it's a second leading cause of death after cardiovascular disease and heart attack. So it's thereabouts there. Anyway, so why are we complacent? We don't address the problem until it's already in a very bad state. Very few, a small percentage take precautions. The funny thing is, few people don't even research, about their risk for cancer, risk for cardiovascular disease. They're diabetic and, they just, I have medicine anyway. It's really, because, diabetes increases the risk for cancer and cardiovascular disease, both of them actually. So diabetes is a something that you disregard because you think it's just a number on the device. I'm just 200 today or whatever, but that's actually highly diabetic already. Because some people I know have reached 300, maybe even 400. So anyway, imagine that. You're already diabetic and you're just treating it, like, oh, it's just diabetes and I'm not gonna die from this. But the complications that comes with diabetes are very serious. So if you miss that, you can check out my other video. So okay, we go about life as if we're all invulnerable, and until a serious disease condition hits us, or someone close to us like family or close friends get hit by serious diseases like cancer. So what we're going to feature today is it's kind of like a technical video, but it's something so that you can understand what happens What's the pathogenesis? Pathogenesis, that's the origin of the disease. Okay, so the cellular pathogenesis of cancer and the role of oxidative stress with it. So it's a video by Dr. Zarina Arif. She's a PhD in biochemistry and faculty member in Aligarh Muslim University, AMU, in India. The reason why I'm featuring her video is that it's really very it's very understandable, even for the you just need to, maybe if you're not familiar with some of the terms, just Google them and it'll be it's just gonna be there. So anyway, she talks about the role of oxidative stress in cancer. So why do we need to know more about this? As I said, it's the second leading cause of death. And based on statistics, some say it affects 1 in 4 people. And the National Cancer Institute, or rather it's a part of the U.S. National Institute of Health, says that the lifetime risk of developing cancer, and these are for Americans, but for Asians it's almost just as close. Okay, so the lifetime risk of developing cancer is approximately 39.9. That's not 1 in 4, because 1 in 4 is 25%. That's more like 2 in 5. That's almost 40%. Okay, approximately 40% of men and women will be diagnosed with cancer of any site at some point during their lifetime, based on 2017 to 2019 data. Okay, and these are real hard statistics from the National Cancer Institute. So, doesn't that sober you? So, what's your chances of getting cancer? That's pretty high. Okay, especially if we're going to show or rather cite what are the main causes of cancer. So okay, first we'll establish that cancer is a cellular condition. Okay, it happens to individual cells. Okay, individual cells. It can start with just only one, and it multiplies, and then whatever. Right? It's already a mass. Okay, so what happens basically is defective cells, okay, in layman's terms, defective cells mutate and they don't die. Instead, they multiply. And then there's some mechanisms that your body don't get rid of it. Okay, and that's how cancer proliferates. Okay, so what are the causes? Most of this is external. But there are serious internal causes of it also, such as, okay, let's go with it. Number 1, genetics. If your family, have a high incidence of cancer, like breast cancer, whatever. So genetics plays a huge role in it. And I read also that hormonal imbalances. Okay, so hormonal imbalances, yes. Okay, so especially for reproductive cancers, okay, reproductive system related cancers, hormonal imbalances is a big thing. Thyroid and all the other involving the hormones, I think the pancreas or something like that. A friend of mine died from it, at a young age. So anyway, toxins, of course, we know that's a potential cause of cancer. That's actually what Erin Brockovich was tackling in the movie, right? So there's environmental, which there's the pollution, the air, the water that you drink. That's why we all switched to bottled waters, because tap water was already contaminated with heavy metals and PCBs and whatnot, right? So there's the pollution. Tobacco, okay. So there's a high incidence of throat cancer with cigarette smokers and cigar smokers. Okay, it's because there's a lot of the chemicals or the toxins that get lodged in the throat. Okay, not to mention lung cancer. All right. So alcohol consumption, food additives. So when we talk about food additives, there goes the processed foods such as hot dogs, instant foods. Chemicals in food like substances that we regularly eat, preservatives, extenders or whatever. But it's all there in the processing. When they make it in the big factories. So in line with this, because of our current lifestyle, there is a decreased consumption of fruits and vegetables, right? And these fruits and vegetables, they're a high source of phytonutrients and antioxidants. Okay, so we have a tendency, when was the last time did you eat a fruit? Okay, when was the last time did you, what do you call this, have a salad? Okay, that's not laden with a lot of like really processed stuff such as mayonnaise and whatnot. Okay, because the store bought mayonnaise that's not, anyway. So we all know that. So anyway, infection and inflammation. All right, when you have an infection like from bacteria, viruses, and parasites, that can cause eventually cancer. Radiation. Okay, the most common source of radiation is the sun. So if you always get exposed to the sun, though the Filipinos are very, the most prone to this skin cancer are those of the Caucasian, the lighter skin types, because they have the melanomas. It mutates easier than us of darker skin tones. So anyway, obesity. Obesity is a huge factor and drastically increases the risk for developing cancer. And the last one, but not the least, is the inactivity. Too much exercise is bad, okay, but zero or so little exercise you can't even call it exercise is the same. It's bad. So these are the factors, and all these factors affect the cells. Okay, and a lot of these are external, but there are also internal, especially when we talk about hormonal and genetics. But the thing is, what all of these things do, all of these causes do, is that they increase oxidative stress in your body, and this oxidative stress is in the form of free radicals. Okay, and the one Dr. Arif is going to discuss, it's reactive oxygen species, and you're gonna learn about it from this video. So, without further ado, know about the mechanics of oxidative stress and what its role is in cancer. Let's play the video.
In this video, I'll be discussing the role of oxidative stress in the pathogenesis of cancer. Before going into the details of how oxidative stress plays a significant role in the pathogenesis of cancer, I'll briefly explain what causes oxidative stress in humans. In healthy humans, a delicate balance exists between the level of pro-oxidants and antioxidants, as you can see in this slide. Oxidation is a normal and necessary process that takes place in the body. However, oxidative stress, on the other hand, occurs when there is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidant activity. When there are more free radicals present than can be kept in balance by antioxidant activity, the free radicals start doing damage to various macromolecules like lipids, proteins, nucleic acids, and they damage cells and finally to tissues. There are various free radicals such as reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species, and reactive chlorine species. But reactive oxygen species are one of the most important species of free radicals that is produced by various metabolic pathways. The production of the reactive oxygen species by various metabolic pathways has been already discussed in detail in the lecture on oxidative stress. Reactive oxygen species affects different signaling pathways including growth factors and mitogenic pathways. They also control many cellular processes, including cell proliferation, and thus can stimulate the uncontrolled growth of cells, which encourages the development of tumors and begins the process of carcinogenesis. Increased oxidative stress caused by reactive species can reduce the body's antioxidant defense against angiogenesis and metastasis in cancer cells. There are numerous studies where oxidative stress is directly or indirectly involved. There are numerous diseases where oxidative stress is involved directly or indirectly, but cancer is a major health problem and a common cause of death worldwide. Cancer approximately affects 1 in 4 people worldwide, and therefore it is important to discuss how and which pathways are involved in the development of cancer when the body is under stress. Now I'll briefly talk about the difference between the normal cells and the cancer cells. In healthy humans, cells stop dividing when their boundaries touch each other, which is called as contact inhibition. Normal cells generally grow in monolayers. Contrary to this, the cancer cells lack contact inhibition and proliferate in an uncontrolled way and can form lump and tumor. When the growth of the cells within the mass is limited and cells retain some of their normal features and they do not invade adjacent tissues nor they spread to the other parts of the body, then in that case the tumor is called as benign. However, if cells divide indefinitely and spread to other parts of the body, in that case the cancer is called malignant. This is the primary tumor and this is the secondary tumor. The spreading of the tumor to secondary sites are called metastasis, and that is the primary cause of mortality due to cancer. There are numerous, or we can say there are some salient features of cancer cells. Cancer cells continue to divide, which means they have forgotten to stop dividing. Cancer cells do not respond to factors that may limit their growth. Cancer cells manage to escape the immune surveillance. That is, they are not destroyed by the immune system. Moreover, they overcome the inbuilt clock that limit normal somatic cell division. Cancer cells have unique ability to leave their place and invade other tissues. Cancer cells promote angiogenesis in order to supply oxygen and nutrients to growing cells. One of the key characteristics of tumor cells is their increased ability to survive, and they fail to undergo apoptosis. Now I'll explain to you how reactive oxygen species and NF-kappa B are involved in the development of cancer. Under sustained environmental stress, reactive oxygen species are produced over a long time and thus can cause significant damage to cell structure and function, and may induce somatic mutations and neoplastic transformation. Cancer initiation and progression has been linked to oxidative stress by increasing DNA mutation or inducing DNA damage, genome instability, and cell proliferation. Normally, a delicate balance exists between DNA damage and DNA repair, which prevent mutagenesis. However, under oxidative stress, the damaged DNA cannot be repaired. And this causes the development of carcinogenesis.
Okay, so from the video, we've seen what happens and how cancer can originate from excessive oxidative stress, right, on a cellular level. So, based on the video, logically, the incidence of cancer can be decreased. Okay, it can be decreased if we reduce oxidative stress. You see, there's a balance between oxidative stress and antioxidants, because what we call oxidative stress in the form of what we saw there as rapid oxygen species, reactive oxygen species, the ROS. Okay, this is the ones that is usually countered by antioxidants. So if there's a more ROS and antioxidant production or antioxidant levels are lower, then that difference is called what we call oxidative stress. Okay, when the antioxidants are insufficient to handle the amount of oxidative damage caused by reactive oxygen species. So, the accumulation of this damage to the cells of our bodies is actually what we call oxidative damage. And this the accumulation of oxidative damage is, it can lead to the degeneration and mutation of our cells, which can be cancerous. Okay, so how do we address this? Of course, it goes to show that it's either we increase the antioxidants or we also decrease the ROS. Okay, so number one, if we will reduce the ROS, okay, so when we reduce the sources of oxidative stress, okay, so that's like having a better diet, sleeping better, environment, control your environment in a way that you're exposed to less radiation and toxins, remove vices, do some detox measures, exercise, lose weight, and if you have diabetes, you really have to address that diabetes and get your sugar down to normal levels. Okay, so one of the ways is to just really increase the consumption of fruits and vegetables, because the phytonutrients are usually high in antioxidants. So, but okay, the external sources of antioxidants are usually insufficient. Okay, especially with older people where digestion or digestive absorption has already declined. Okay, so as we age, okay, this ROS or oxidative damage accumulates, and our own internal capacity to counter this, okay, declines. So that's why we rapidly age in our later years. All right, but okay, this is not all about gloom and doom. We are not doomed to just grow old and get all of these diseases and die. Okay, so what's the viable solution? Okay, there's actually our bodies. The good news is our bodies actually have our own internal mechanism, okay, that its purpose is better cellular health, through cellular detoxification and revitalization. All right, aren't you curious why children below 20 are often very they have high resistance to disease. They look young. They have all the energy in the world. It's because their cellular mechanism for detoxification and revitalization is still strong. And this is what we call the NRF2 pathway. Okay? But the thing is, again, as we age, this NRF2 function declines. Usually after about the age of 20. Then when as the NRF2 declines, then cellular oxidative damage further builds up, leading to ever increasing imbalance between high ROS and ever decreasing internal antioxidant production, because one of the functions of the NRF2 pathway is for our own bodies to create our own antioxidants. Okay, so what do we do about this? It's a cellular thing. The solution is to revive the NRF2. You flip on the switch to reactivate your own body's NRF2 pathway. Okay? It is basically to awaken your own body's cellular detoxification and regeneration. Okay? And when you reactivate it, it will increase our own body's antioxidant production. In fact, you see the children, they don't really have, they don't take much vitamins, they don't eat well, they eat the food that they want, fried chicken, sweets and whatnot, but they're children, they still grow, and they look young and whatnot, right? It's because of their NRF2. The NRF2 is like the mechanism that keeps them in good health. So also at the same time, it produces the antioxidants that allows them to cope with their diet, with their abuse on their bodies. But as we grow older, I said, our NRF2 pathway starts to decline. So how do you reactivate or flip the switch on NRF2? Meaning, how do you turn it on again? How do you stimulate your body to again reactivate its NRF2? Okay, so this is through our product. Okay, this is like so unique, meaning there's no other company other than ours that have this technology in the marketplace. Okay, so you've already seen the science, you've understood the science for the how cancer originates, and now the solution might be here. Okay, I'm not saying it's I don't mean to imply to that our product can mitigate or prevent or whatever to because that's against legal stuff. Okay, so we want to avoid those things. But the thing is, based on clinical studies, these products of ours, in 30 days, okay, can increase, can decrease oxidative damage by 40%, or oxidative stress levels by 40% in 30 days. Okay, how do they do it? How did they do it? Because there's this thing in our blood called T-bars, and that's what they measure. In older people, these are usually off the charts. It's usually so high, because of the accumulated damage. While in younger people, it's on a lower level because they produce a lot of antioxidants that can reduce the effects of oxidative stress, okay, or the ROS. Okay, so based on clinical studies, why? How does it do that? So based on clinical studies, our product increases the production of critical antioxidants for detoxification and revitalization. It increases superoxide dismutase. Okay, and those are technical, and I'll be glad to share these with you, on a more specific basis. But for now, these are the top antioxidants. Our body makes for its own health maintenance or cellular health maintenance. So this is superoxide dismutase. In 30 days, there's an increase in 30% increase. And in catalase, okay, that's another antioxidant produced internally by our own body, is 54%. There's an increase in 54%. And we're all familiar with the ever mighty glutathione, which we call as the master antioxidant. Our internal glutathione production increases by as much as 300%. Okay, these are the three most powerful enzymes that act upon and counter oxidative stress, oxidative damage, reactive oxygen species. So when these things are upregulated, meaning their production is increased, then it'll be able to bring down the levels of oxidative damage. Okay, so what are the results? In 30 days, oxidative stress levels go down by 40%. So much so that when tested, an 80-year-old's blood in 30 days has oxidative damage the same level as a 20-year-old. Okay, there was no distinguishable T-bar difference. Okay, so how would you like it to be that you're like 60, 70, and you have the oxidative level of a 20-year-old? Okay, so that means you're not putting extra stress on your cells that can cause mutation, that can cause cancer, that can cause a lot of diseases. Because if you research about oxidative stress, it doesn't only cause cancer. It causes a multitude of potential physical concerns that can be serious. Okay, so we have a video on oxidative stress. It's just there in our library, and I'm glad to share it with you. But the thing is, what we have right now is, what does it do with cancer? Okay, so but cancer is just only one adverse effect of runaway or high levels of oxidative damage. So again, our product has numerous clinical studies that show that it can assist in healing, at the same time be protective, on a cellular level. In fact, the Washington State University study states that NRF2, and this is actually part of the study that we got, and it's a third party, no conflict of interest clinical study. So what Washington State University says in that study is NRF2 may very well become the most extraordinary therapeutic, the most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Okay, so those are very powerful words. But again, we cannot claim that, because this is like a supplement or food-based product. Okay, it does not have any chemical component with it. It is just full of natural herbs and phytonutrients. Okay, its combination allows it to function as an NRF2 activator. Okay, so anyway, if you like this content and you think you've been enriched by this, and then you want to learn more and you want to take action, okay, then you can go ahead and add me or PM me or DM me. I'm pretty much visible in the social media space, and let's help people. If you know people who have cancer, loved ones who have cancer, then let's talk about it, because this may be a solution to them. Because I've seen people with like there's this one, I think, with cervical cancer, and I don't know what the current condition is, but she was just given a month to live, and then when she was given our product, the cancer suddenly started going out of her. So the doctor said that was a good sign. Okay, so but anyway, we'll follow up on that. But the thing is, right now, okay, if you want to go on a preventive measure for this, then talk to me, PM me, or if somebody else forwarded you this video, you can talk with that person. Best to talk with that person who forwarded you this video, and likely he or she is part of my team, and we'll be glad to assist you, with all of the educational knowledge the knowledge that you need to have, so that you can take better care of your body. So anyway, guys, again, this is Common Sense Coach, Coach Tony Agudo, again requesting you to like, share, and subscribe if this video was good for you. So that's it for now. Bye-bye, everyone. Coach Tony signing off. Learn well, live well. God bless.